Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Just going to give a few seconds here. I know people are still getting on. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and get started. I first want to address some exciting news that we have for the 5P contract area. So I'm super happy. We just learned that we have been extended, which means that Sage will be the AM for the 5P contract area, which means I will remain as the point of contact. So our extension right now, as we know it, is until November of 2018. So hopefully, we'll be around a little bit longer after that. Who can say right now at this point, but as it stands now, we are really excited that we're going to be around for a little while here, at least until November 2018. So I just wanted to share that news with you all. I know some of you have been concerned with that. So I just wanted to put you at ease that we have been extended until November 2018. So moving on, with that being said, there are quite a few things that I want to address. First being our MLS tier sheets. So with me scrubbing the inventory here, I found that I've been noticing a lot of the MLS tier sheets, they continue to be uploaded incorrectly. So as it stands right now, I just want to make sure that everyone understands how to upload the MLS tier sheet into P260. So first and foremost, the MLS tier sheets are to be uploaded into Sugar as well as P260. But for some reason, P260 seems to be the issue, where some of you continue to upload them incorrectly. So the first thing you want to do is when you're in that case, you want to go to the field where it says Add Attachment, and then you want to select Listing Site. The next drop down will be MLS tier sheet. In the description, you want to enter the MLS type, whether it's a relist, whether it's the initial list, whatever it is. Just give that detail of the MLS type. Please do not select list site photos. We actually determine the marketing photos on our side when my asset specialist does the disposition of these properties. So if you're selecting the marketing photos, it won't show up on our report. If you upload your MLS tier sheet as listing site photos, that MLS tier sheet will then show up onto HUD Home Store along with the photos. So we definitely want to make sure that we're not doing that, because the MLS tier sheet should not be available on the HUD Home Store. So again, I've just seen an increase in this, and I'm just guessing that it's probably just a quick movement, but just make sure that you're taking the time to do it correctly. Again, please do not choose list site photos when uploading your MLS tier sheet. So monthly marketing evidence. I'm not really sure why at this point, 2 years into the contract, I continue to find that there's no monthly marketing evidence on age assets. So properties that are listed 60 days or greater are required to have monthly marketing case notes in P260. They're due the 25th of each month that is actively listed on HUD Home Store. So again, it's completely unacceptable for me to go into any age asset at 60 days or greater and not find your monthly marketing evidence notes. I mean, we're just getting into May, so they're not quite due yet for May, but for April and prior months, I should see if they're consistently monthly until the property is sold. So if you're having an issue or a difficulty with adding these case notes into P260 with your age assets, then the best thing you could probably do is get the property sold prior to 60 days, and then there's no need to worry about entering a case note into P260. If the issue comes down to maybe the pricing, which we know we have to list at appraised value, and we're all not happy with that, the problem is that if you have that issue, if that concern, you have to bring it to me. You can add those case notes as well. Bring it to my attention. I can promise you that at 30 days, I'm definitely going to do all I can to get that price reduced. But you have to be vocal. You have to let me know what your concerns are. So really quickly, I just want to share with you all an example of monthly marketing evidence. And this is just a great example of a listing broker who absolutely gets it, who absolutely understands what we expect, who absolutely obviously attended every broker roundtable and reads their emails to absolutely give us good details. And with these details, I was able to, one, get a HUD-approved list price reduction, and shortly thereafter, we had an accepted offer. So again, this is an example of a really good monthly marketing note. I mean, this broker, he gets it, he does a great job, and he maintains a perfect score. So we want to make sure that your monthly marketing evidence is giving us details. You know, just give us as much as you can, because it's outside of my research, combined with your research, I'll be able to get the price reduced. I'll be able to get a bid awarded, but I just need your help to do that. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands what we expect. This is a great example, so just take a second to look at it and understand this is the kind of thing that we expect. And like I said, because of these details, I was able to get a list price reduction. I was able to also get an offer awarded. So this is what we want to see. So inspections, what we're finding here is we see a pattern lately of late inspections and RTL inspections. And quite frankly, I'm not sure if it's because LaDonna is no longer the point of contact and maybe some are just slacking off. But I just wanted to let you all know that effective immediately, if you have an inspection that is due, you will receive an email from Nick. Now, Nick will be notifying you to submit your inspections on time. So again, these emails will come from Nick to notify you to submit your inspections on time. However, that does not change your point of contact. Your point of contact will remain as Katora. So if you receive an email from Nick advising you of an inspection that is due, please do not respond. If you have any concerns, you can send an email to Katora and she will address it, or she will advise me if need be. But inspections are due the day of. We expect them to be in by 2 p.m. However, not later than 5 p.m. If those inspections are not in, then unfortunately our hands are tied and we may have to reassign those properties. Because if you're late, then Sage is late. And that's not going to be good for anyone, especially it's not going to be good with our report with HUD. So I need to make sure that everyone understands that inspections are due the day they are due. We would like to see them come in at 2 p.m. However, not later than 5 p.m. The idea is that before we leave at close of business, this office shuts down, that your RTL was in. Yesterday, we had about 7 ready-to-list inspections that were late. Therefore, those properties could not be marketed timely. So I'm giving everyone an opportunity to get a fair shot here to let you know that they have to be in on time. Unless we've made an exception. Unless we've had a discussion with the broker where we came to some agreement or there was some issue that's just outside of anyone's control, then that is probably when an exception is made. Other than that, we want to make sure that inspections are submitted on time, there's zero tolerance there, and this just cannot continue. On our last call, we did talk about the new P codes for the 5P area. So these P codes will roll out on June 1st. So this little handy flyer I received from BLM today, and this flyer will be sent to you all. And it basically just gives you the information of U.S. Harbor Supply, who has, I guess, some contract or agreement with BLM on the new key codes. So the key codes will be emailed to you all today. Right after this call, you'll receive a list of these current key codes. These are all effective on June 1st. So properties assigned on June 1 and after that date will also, it would also impact any inventory that is over 180 days. So those assets will be rekeyed with these new key codes. And as we discussed, the padlock situation on the last key change did not go really well. So we have decided to go with the dial combination padlock, which is no key. So if you see the padlock 5352 on the HIPAA inspection, that is the code that you'll need to enter. There will be no key for that. And so I'll just leave that up there for a second if you want to take note of it, but understand that I will definitely be sending this out to you all in an email. There's also a list of suppliers that BLM has provided. My conversation with BLM yesterday was to confirm with me that they have a relationship with these guys, and they have been confirmed that these keys are well stocked and ready to go. So can that change in the next week? I don't know, but I'm just letting you know what I've been told, that these particular vendors are well stocked and ready to go. So again, all this information will be emailed to you all. So I just wanted to share with you all the point of contact sheet. I just encourage you all to please follow this. I get bombarded with a lot of emails that should be submitted to the proper email address. So I just ask that you share this with your team. Sometimes I have random emails from agents who are within a brokerage firm who I've never had a relationship with that are sending me random emails in which I feel as though, as the listing broker, you should be sharing the point of contact with your team, and they should know the proper route to go with certain requests. You know, please refrain from emailing me multiple times, especially when it comes to vandalism or changing conditions. First of all, I don't have a magic wand. So if you submit a change of condition or vandalism and I respond to you and I tell you, hey, this is what's going to happen, I issued a work order, I got BLM involved, we're doing this, and that. Trust me, if I said that I've done something, I've done it. There's no reason for you to feel as though you have to go around me or go to BLM and question something that I've already told you. First and foremost, that email is going to come back to me. And nothing is going to change. I don't have a magic wand, nor does BLM. There are processes in place. So if I tell you I've issued a work order, it has to go through a different level. It goes to HUD, it goes to this person, that person. It goes through a whole list of people who have to review and decide on an outcome. We submit a recommendation. The final outcome comes from the seller. So again, if I tell you that I've done something, I've done it to my best ability. If you're not happy or the buyer's not happy with the end result, then we know what the option is. The option is to move forward or to cancel the contract. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands it's really important that you follow the point of contact and that you're sharing that with your team. But when it comes to vandalism and change of condition, you have to allow time for these situations, especially if it involves a large amount of a credit or if it involves vandalism. I mean, the police have to be called. There's a whole process involved. And again, if you're not confident in what my response is, or you don't think that my word is good enough, then you should probably reconsider your relationship with Sage, because I am the main point of contact, so that is where it lies. And just some additional point of context here when it comes to customer service or super user for BSCA. I get a lot of those emails as well. So I just want to make sure that everyone has this here, and I will be sending it to you all in an email. Just follow that email. Anything outside of these conditions that are noted here, anything outside of that, you can bring to me. Otherwise, you have to start first with the point of contact. If you're not getting any response, then you can bring it to me. All right, so that's pretty much it for now. I do want to touch base on the scorecards just for a second here. Really, this is really for you all who have been sleeping on the scorecard. That's the way I like to refer to it as, meaning that you have not taken your scorecard seriously at all. Basically, a situation would be where you email for an assignment or you call for an assignment, and you don't understand why you're not getting the assignments. And the first question I ask is, do you know your score? And you don't know your score, and you also don't know how to pull your scorecard. So that is a little bit of a concern because we've all been told that you have to take your scorecard seriously, and your scorecard is your responsibility, not mine. So those of you who pretty much been sleeping on your scorecard the entire time, and now in the last month or two, you have questions and concerns of your score, when I can take it back to November of 2016, where you were all advised that of January 2017, scorecards were going to be considered with assignments. So, with that said, please do not think for 1 second that I am not aware of those who take this very seriously and those of you who don't. I try to be really understanding and have a lot of empathy for a lot of different situations, but when it comes to performance, there's just, I'm sorry, I just can't tolerate it. So if you have questions or concerns, I suggest that you, number one, try to self-educate, refer to your Broker RoundTables, refer to the Broker training. There's a lot of resources out there for you. Of course, I'm here if you have questions, but the basic things I need you to have a basic understanding of. I prefer a very strong team. Otherwise, we all fail. So, if you're not performing as a listing broker, then, there should be no surprise if you see a reduction in your inventory. There should be no surprise if you get issued a warning letter because your score has dropped. There should be no surprise if your inventory is reassigned. Which takes me to just a little small note here. Understand that unsold inventory at 90 days can be reassigned. And if you already have received a second warning letter, then we all know what's coming next. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands this is really important that you perform really well, because when it comes down to a reduction in our broker panel, unfortunately, it's going to come down to your performance. And again, if you've already received a second warning and you have not improved, then we know a suspension is probably next. So that's pretty much all I have today. If you have any questions, you can just shoot them now and then we'll close up. That's it. Our contract is extended until November. I don't have anything else other than our contract being extended until November. When November comes, we'll hear something. With more listings, you can do better. Well, if you're not performing well with the ones you have, I don't know why we would even consider giving you any more. So we're all hoping that the inventory is going to improve. Trust me, we're all really, really hoping that does happen. I know some areas have picked up greater than others, but we can only hope for the best. Any other questions? So the 60 days would be for properties that are actively listed on HUD Home Store, not for properties that are under contract. Now, the minute it falls under contract, then you have to put those notes into P260. Any other questions? If you're maintaining a good score, you're not getting inventory, you can send me an email. I forward it on to the girl who does the assignments, but understand that just like you have a good score and haven't gotten any assignments, there are probably many more just like you, which is why we're going to be doing a reduction, and hopefully that will change for you. But other than that, there's not too much that I can do if we don't have the inventory. Any other questions here? Okay, the monthly marketing evidence I showed you was an example. Doesn't mean that everything in there I agree to. So that was just an example of what it is we expect as far as the details of why a property is not selling. You're not able to log into the system. As far as I know, no one else is having login issues. The only issue it could be if your insurance or license has expired. If that's the case, you could send me an email. But if that is updated and your account is active, then it's possibly an issue on your end, and I encourage you to get your IT involved, or maybe you can try Google Chrome or different something as such as that. I really wouldn't know how to advise you. If it was an overall, everyone was having an issue, then we can identify it. Monthly marketing evidence is required on properties that are listed for sale 60 days or more, meaning it's actively listed on HUD Home Store. Title issues, you have to go to compliance with those kind of concerns. You know, it can take some time. We know right away if it's going to be reconveyed. We ultimately don't make that call. That call comes from HUD. Any other questions? All right, so we'll just close it. Thank you all.